This is BurbNBougie reporting live from my kitchen. I have about 3 or 4 stories to get to, so I'm just going to put them in one video. Now, this first one, have you heard about this? The US government advises citizens to reconsider travel to Jamaica. Let's get into this story. The State Department is advising Americans to reconsider travel to Jamaica, saying that violent crimes on the island are common and that SAs occur frequently, including at all-inclusive resorts. Jamaica was issued a level 3 travel advisory on January 23rd. Level 1 is the lowest warning and level 4 is the highest. It's the second time this month that the U.S. has raised concern about crime in a popular Caribbean destination. On January 26th, the state advisory issued a level 2 travel advisory to the Bahamas, recommending that travelers exercise increased caution due to crime. The Jamaica advisory says that the country's homicide rate is among the highest in the Western Hemisphere. The warning does not offer any details or specifics about SAs at all-inclusive resorts. Violence and shootings occur regularly in many neighborhoods, communities, and parishes in Jamaica, the advisory says. The warning also says that local police often do not respond effectively to serious criminal incidents and that emergency services and hospital care vary throughout the island and cannot always provide high-level or specialized care. In its advisory, the State Department strongly encourages people going to Jamaica to obtain travelers insurance, including medical evacuation insurance. So this article is speaking about the same thing, but it gives just a little bit more detail. This one says that there have been 18 unalivings in the capital of Nassau since the start of the year. I wanted to pull that number out. Also, I wanted to point out this quote: when arrests are made, cases are infrequently prosecuted to a conclusive sentence. Families of U.S. citizens unalived in accidents or homicides frequently wait a year or more for the final death certificate to be issued by Jamaican authorities. Both the Embassy and State Department have been drawing attention to the string of homicides, SAs, and armed robberies and home invasions in particular. Even so, Jamaica remains an incredibly popular travel destination among travelers from all over North America, and it's right before spring break. So this is just something to reconsider before going into your game plans for spring break. This segment is brought to you by Cafe Bustelo. This is actually how I'm able to get so many videos done and be a mom and wife and get my exercise in daily. Cafe Bustelo, Magic of Champions. Now for this article. Man who destroys Satanic Temple altar in Iowa charged under hate crime law. The Baphomet altar put up by the Satanic Temple was allowed to be in the Iowa Capitol, but it drew criticism from national conservatives. I do want to remind everybody that freedom of religion extends to all religions. And so if people want to see their religion up front and they want to have churches and different places where you can worship, other people have that right too. I know that folks are going to take exception to the fact that this is a satanic temple, but it doesn't matter. It could be a temple to the flying spaghetti monster. It wouldn't matter. That's how freedom of religion goes. It goes for all religions. A man who attacked and destroyed a permitted statue put up by the Satanic Temple at Iowa's Capitol in December has been charged with a felony under the state's hate crime statutes, the prosecutor's office said this week. Michael Cassidy, who was a loser in Mississippi's State House of Representatives, is charged with third-degree criminal mischief in violation of individual rights, the Polk County Attorney's Office said on Tuesday. Evidence shows the defendant made statements to law enforcement and the public indicating he destroyed the property because of the victim's religion. Cassidy had been charged with the misdemeanor. The enhanced charge is a Class D felony under Iowa's hate crime statutes. Cassidy of Lauderdale ran for Mississippi State House District as a Republican, but was defeated in November by Democrat Keith Jackson by 55% to 38%. His campaign biography describes him as a former Navy pilot and a Christian conservative who loves our nation. So then Cassidy went on Fox News and basically admitted that he did it, and he called it Christian civil disobedience. He said he went to the Capitol and nobody was there, and it offended me. It touched a nerve. It was, righteous indignation. He said that he pulled off the head, referring to the display of the Baphomet. So he did go on Fox News. Here he is admitting that he committed a crime, and he admitted this on video. These people are very interesting. Now to this story of this 17-year-old who is failing and flailing already. This 17-year-old is an alleged serial swatter charged after police say he made threats throughout the country. This dude is 17 and already facing federal charges. So the swatting calls targeted high schools, HBCUs, and FBI offices. There is pew pew fired in a 911 call summoning police to a Florida mosque. All right, this is an alarming trend. High-profile political figures and government office buildings, including the White House, have faced swatting hoaxes. A 17-year-old serial swatter from California is believed to be responsible for hundreds of swatting incidents and bomb threats throughout the United States and is now facing charges in Florida, according to a pretrial detention motion. Alan Fillion was extradited to Florida on January 30th to face charges for a swatting incident at a mosque, according to the Seminole County State's Attorney's Office. Swatting is making a false report to the police with the intention of luring them to a location by saying a violent crime has taken place or is in progress. The dangerous hoax has been on the FBI's radar for nearly 2 decades and has become more widely known as celebrities were targeted. The troubling trend has recently taken a political turn as federal judges and lawmakers have been subject to false emergency calls, along with state capitol buildings and even the White House. So this dude, though, Allen, he called about a mass shooting at a mosque. During this call, he said that he had a pew-pew and explosives. In a 911 call released by the department, the caller is heard saying that he is going to commit a mass pew-pew in the name of Satan. All right, so that's what this kid is responsible for. And if this is federal, I am totally sure that they have a whole lot already stacked up against him. I'm sure that it's not going to be for just this one thing. Anyways, go ahead. Let me know what you think about this one. It is way too bad that these teenagers are already failing and flailing. Now, on to an old person, an old man who has already failed and flailed. One of these hundreds of failed insurrectionists that basically wanted to do a mutiny for a failed presidential candidate. The loser Trump definitely had hundreds of people out here fighting his battles, and he still lost. Anyways, to this article. January 6th rioter who blindside tackled a Capitol officer is sentenced to more than 6 years in prison. Good. Another person that can't vote this year. After getting amped up at the Stop the Steal rally on January 6th, Donald Trump fan Ralph Celentano assaulted law enforcement officers during the Capitol attack. A Donald Trump supporter who blindside tackled a U.S. Capitol officer from behind on January 6th and flipped him over a ledge was sentenced to more than 6 years in prison on Tuesday. Ralph Celentano, a New York man who thought Trump was the greatest president in American history, was sentenced to 78 months in federal prison. U.S. District Judge Timothy Kelly said that Celentano's conduct was disgraceful and that there was no excuse for it, calling the attack on the officer a truly cowardly and despicable thing to do. Celentano was arrested in 2022 and convicted at trial last year. Court evidence shows that he believed the Trump lies about the 2020 election, writing on social media that the crooked poll workers needed to be hauled before judges before heading to the Stop the Steal rally in Washington on January 6th, then heading to the Capitol. You see, he is circled down on the bottom. The fact that these people fell for Trump's lies is amazing to me, but thankfully he's going to be behind bars. While admittedly amped up from the rally, Celentano marched over a mile to the Capitol building, gripping his Trump flag, folding chairs, strapped to his backpack, which bore a patch that read, "Unalive them all and let God sort it out." The Peace Circle Celentano said in a video that rioters should occupy the Capitol, it's our building, and then join the mob confronting officers, calling them pathetic pieces of poop, prosecutors said. Celentano then pushed officers and used their riot shields against them. Eventually, Celentano shoved U.S. Capitol Police Officer Kenrick Ellis over a banister. Ellis, who served in the military, thought that this was how he was going to end. He thought he was going to die this day. Look at these people. He told Celentano, "You're not a patriot, you're a coward." Celentano offered a brief apology to Ellis. "I'm terribly sorry. I had a terrible day." I'm thankful that he'll have more terrible days behind bars. Jump in the comments. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. on whichever article you want to talk about.